Hi, this is Greg Forzani with another Don't Miss the Point of Business video. I want to talk about building predictable profit. Not just building profit or more profit than you have today, but building predictable profit. Now, predictable profit can, apply to changing seasonal conditions, weather patterns. Is your business reliant on a certain sports team? Is it, those kind of things? Predictable profit impacts those, or those impact predictable profit. But the one I want to talk about today is changing industry dynamics, meaning the industry you're in, is it evolving, changing, etc. And I think we can all agree when you look back in time, things are changing faster and faster every year. Evolving meaning. So whatever's going on in your industry today, I can guarantee you, 5 years from now, it's going to look different. 10 years from now, it's going to look a lot different. 20 years from now, it's going to look completely different. So how do you build predictable profit in a way that takes that into account? So here's just a simple solution that we do with our clients. Number one, you need to absolutely do routine planning, meaning remove the ownership, executive, management team. You decide who's involved in these meetings, but remove that team from everything a certain number of times, meaning once a year for sure. You have to do annual planning, but it might be quarterly as well. It might be monthly, it might be weekly. But at least at the bare minimum, once a year, during your annual planning, one of the points on the agenda that should occupy some time, and it might be a half a day, 2 hours, an hour, whatever it is, but part of that should be a focus around what's changing in, number one, our landscape, so our business's landscape, our industry's landscape, what's changing, this is coming, this is new, this is happening. And then it's about, okay, what do we need to do to adapt to that? How do we adapt? What do we got to start putting in place? What new products, what new services, locations, how are we communicating, how are we providing our service, customer interaction points, whatever those things are, what's changing, and what do we need to start putting in place? List those things annually, and then add them to your 90-day planning. So in 90-day planning, say, hey, these are the things we want to change. What are the things we need to start doing to make that happen? Second thing to look at in the annual planning is not just our own industry, but way more important than that is look at other industries. What's starting to happen in other industries that's changing, because it's probably going to spill over into our industry. And I'll give you a quick example. If we go way back in time, and I don't even know if this is the first example I don't know if this is the first case of the example I'm going to give, but I'll call it the first case. Jeep came out with what we would call a, SUV, crossover vehicle, whatever you want to call it. Well, that changed the automotive industry. And again, there might have been one prior to that. But that then spilled over into, wait a minute, the shoe business, so call it Nike, comes up with the Cross Trainer. Now, was that inspired by the Cross Trainer Jeep? Don't know, SUV. And then that spilled over into the bike industry. Now you got different types of bikes. You got hybrid bikes, crossover bikes, all sorts of stuff. And that spilled over into the ski industry. Now you got all mountain skis versus in the old days it used to be slalom, giant slalom, powder, like mogul. Now they got all mountain skis. Could probably name many industries. Golf. Now they got hybrid golf clubs where it's kind of a wood meets an iron. So, did some of these come from inspiration of other industries? Probably. So you got to look at two things. One, what's changing in our industry? How are we going to adapt? Two, what's changing in other industries? And is that going to spill over into ours? And what does that look like?